Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. Well, here we go again. Yes. We have to talk about it now. And I am talking about performance enhancing drugs in the sport of boxing. Now, apparently, everybody in the world of boxing at this point knows that I've been raising awareness of this nefarious activity for the past 6 months here on YouTube. But we have to speak on Conor Benn. Why? Because Conor Benn just got finished winning a decision in Las Vegas against Dobson over the weekend. Now, the controversy surrounding Conor Benn has nothing to do, particularly with the win that he was able to secure over the weekend. It has something to do more so about the fact that the British Boxing Board of Control has filed an appeal of his lifted suspension, which is still in process, which is one of the main reasons why Conor Benn cannot and will not compete in his home country of the United Kingdom, the UK. In fact, he doesn't even have a license there anymore. This is the main reason why Eddie Hearn, the promoter of Matchroom, basically secured his services here in the States. And he had a big performance in Las Vegas. And I call it a big performance because we haven't seen Conor Benn compete since he was suspended for illegal performance enhancement drug use by failing multiple tests. Drug tests, may I add. PED test, may I add. And he got hit a lot in this fight against Dobson. Dobson, who was undefeated, he came to fight. He did not come to lay down for Conor Benn. But Conor Benn landed some big shots in this fight. It was a very competitive fight over the weekend. Absolutely it was. Good fight and good win for Conor Benn. But that's not because he won, of why the controversy surrounding him. The controversy surrounding him because of what's going on in his home country of the UK with the British Boxing Board of Control. Once again, they filed an appeal. So the case is technically not all the way over. He is vindicated in the country of the United States, obviously, to compete anywhere in the states of the United States of America. But here is something interesting to me. I interviewed Victor Conti, not once, but twice, in a matter of 1 week. But in the second interview, Victor Conti was asked about Eddie Hearn, the promoter of Conor Benn. He was asked about Conor Benn's failed test. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. We have Dub Right Side. Double salute to him again. Dub Right Side says to you, Mr. Conti, do you think Eddie Hearns, that is, do you think Eddie Hearns tried to cover up Chisora and Conor Benn failed tests? And if so, what should be the consequences in your opinion?
I have openly criticized Eddie Hearn repeatedly about this exact thing. He pitches, it's right around the corner, it's right around the corner, it's right around the corner. I believe these guys, they're not doing stuff, when all indication is there was something shady going on there, especially in the case of Conor Benn, when he not only tested positive for clomiphene once, but twice and under two different programs. One was the WBC and the other was directly with VADA. I don't know what he was doing, what that source was, but when you do get the same positive drug test 6 weeks apart, there's something there. Now, they have presented no science, credible science, that I have seen. I have been asking and asking and I've been telling Eddie Hearn, stop, okay? Stop. I'm going to throw up if I hear you talk about Eubank and Benn one more time. Okay. Oh, it's going to be this date. Oh, it's going to be this date. Oh, it's going to be this date. Oh, he's going to come clean. None of the above has happened. He's still suspended. He's circumventing the what I think is in the best interest of boxing by bringing him in for that fight in Florida, which I heard from inside people that DAZN was not happy. One, that the audience was booing him. Okay. Two, his performance was not all that good against a mediocre guy. And here they are bringing him in Las Vegas to a very small venue at the Cosmopolitan. So he's no big giant draw. Now he might be for a big fight, against a Eubank or maybe against somebody like Devin Haney, if they can make that fight. But Devin has said he has no interest in him. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Conor Benn until we see the adjudication process play itself out and we get a chance to publicly see or have somebody who's credible interpret whatever science, and I believe it's fake science or pseudoscience. Once we get that opportunity to see what that is and determine, is it something that would be upheld in a peer-reviewed scientific journal as explanation as being valid? Not bring in some, doctor who may or may not have ever conducted any studies before. And if he has, I don't see a big list of references. They have been hiding this, in my opinion. I have said repeatedly, what's to hide? So that's one of the issues that I have repeatedly. Now, let me also say that at one point, not too long ago, Eddie Hearn said, that's it. From this point forward, all of my major fights are going to use VADA. And I've seen that he has been using VADA for most of his fights. And I learned that when I put together the list here. Matchroom. So even though I may have been critical of him and been very outspoken about this, listen, he threatened to sue me. Okay. He came to me privately and said, I'm not the litigious type, but enough's enough and you'll be hearing from my lawyers and blah, blah, blah. Of course, I never heard from him, but he did threaten me. So I don't know what happened here. I can't hear you now.
I'm sorry. I was saying sue you for what? Why would Eddie Hearn sue you?
I don't know what. Defamation? I'm not sure. Anything I ever said about him was the truth. So I'm not sure. I think he just doesn't like me spreading the shade. But until, he was using a lab, the one that tested Alicia Baumgardner, that I believe is shady. And the reason I believe that is because there are a couple of cases where they have been sued, and this was written up in the New York Times, and it was because somebody came back to one of the athletes that they tested and offered for money to cover up that positive drug test. And it was somebody relatively high up in the organization who basically blew the whistle on them that this sort of stuff goes on. So, and I also called and talked to them directly, the guy that runs the program, and I'm talking about drug-free sport now. And what I found out is, and what he told me was, whatever test that they do, as I've described in the past, where you have a test requisition form and you check off what tests you're going to do, they're using the WADA protocol, not the VADA protocol, for one. And for two, I said, what about the adjudication? And I want to know who these test results go to. And he told me whoever pays for the tests is the only entity that gets those results, positive or negative. So hold it. This is highly suspicious. Imagine if Eddie or Matchroom is the only people that get it, and whoever the governing body is of the fighters, WBC, whoever, whatever organization, ABC, is not getting these results. If VADA gets a positive test, everybody gets informed. Okay, you will know shortly. When he told, I said, no, wait, let me repeat this and write it down. You're telling me that, and I said, well, how do you not become involved in the adjudication process? I don't get that. He said, because we don't even get a copy of the test results. We tell them to send so we collect the samples, they pay us, we do whatever test they want us to do, not necessarily the full panel of VADA, all prohibited substances. And when the results come back, we don't get them. So we completely remove ourselves from any liability or responsibility. And those results go solely to whoever writes that check. Whoa, this is not good. So I have criticized Eddie for doing business with this company, okay? Because he said, oh, some people came and they said, well, Matchroom has their own testing now. They just do their own testing. So, oh, what do you mean own testing? So I investigated this and found out what I just told you.